What's up, guys? This video is going to be everything you need to know to get started selling books on Amazon FBA. This video is geared towards beginners. It's going to cover basics. It's going to cover some advanced stuff, but the goal is after you watch this video, you should know everything you need to know to get started selling books on Amazon FBA. Let me go check and see, because this video is live. I just want to check the comments and see how we're doing. How's it going, Surf and Goat? How's the video transmission and the audio looking? We're doing good. I'm going to cover fulfilled by merchant a little bit as well. Let me put that down on the notepad and make sure I got that. What up, Lewis 2017? What up, Lennon, Stalin, Surf and Goat? The three first people that joined us. Zen Flips in the house. If you're watching this video, please smash the like button. It makes me feel good inside. More importantly, it helps with the algorithm on YouTube, and it pushes my video up in search results so that other people can find the video as well. How's everybody doing? Good? Not so good? Let me know. I'll probably put this to podcast too, so that for my viewers or for my audience members that don't watch video and don't have a lot of time, you could listen to this on my podcast available on the iTunes store. What up, David Watson, Dane Upperman, Joseph Gallegos, Rocco Marcy, Barchell said, just another goon, Gunther Snaps. Here we go, guys. So feel free to put comments down there. If you have a question, use all capitals and put question in all caps. That way I know it's not you guys just making a comment or talking back to each other. And then when I have a lull, when I get slow on my speech, I can go through there and pick up a comment off the live chat. The video and audio is good. You guys feeling it? Sounds like it's good. Someone's a stalker. I got a downvote already. It's all good. It's probably Rockstar Flipper. Either way, I still love him. He needs a hug. I'll give him a big hug someday. Anyways, guys, so I'm not concerned with that. What I'm concerned with is delivering a massive amount of value to you guys in this video. So, and also for, if you're a new follower, welcome to my channel. I'm glad to have you. And I'm about to teach you everything you need to know about selling books on Amazon. And I'm sure you'll certainly learn a couple things about Amazon in general. So first off, let's talk about how to get started selling books on Amazon. First thing you're going to need to do is you need an Amazon seller account. So go to sellercentral.amazon.com, sign up for an Amazon account. I think if you have a buying account on Amazon, you can register your account to be a seller account. Now, you can be an individual seller or you can be a pro merchant seller. And there's also two ways to sell books on Amazon or any item. There's fulfilled by Amazon, FBA, which means you send it to Amazon. They house it and store it. And when it ships, they ship it for you using their shipping methods. And you can usually fetch a premium price for a fulfilled by Amazon item. But there's obviously some fees that go in line with that. And then there's fulfilled by merchant or merchant fulfilled, sometimes referred to as FBM. And what that means is that when you list the book, you store it locally on your premises. And when it sells, meaning you get a notification that it sold in your email or you see it on your seller dashboard, then you go and get the book and wrap it and mail it to your customer. Both are viable ways, and you have to consider which one benefits you more. Which business model do you prefer to do? With FBA, a lot of the benefits are that there's less work up, like overall. You don't have to go and pack orders when they sell. If you have 100 books listed and you sell 10 a day, that's 10 days where you had to stop what you're doing to go get those items, pull them, wrap them, and ship them off to your customers. Whereas if you did FBA, you could have shipped off 100 items in one day or one afternoon. And so you're batching the work. You're like TiVoing the work down into one period and getting it done all on your own terms. But the downside about FBA is that there's fees. The fees are continually going up more and more. So for example, if you have a $10 book that's selling used for $10 or $10 on FBA, you can actually make more selling it yourself, fulfilled by merchant, especially if you get discounted postage rates through USPS, and the discount type is called bound printed matter. So I believe you have to achieve a certain amount of volume to get this discount, but then you're making money because you're shipping it for very cheap and you're competing with the big dogs that do the same thing. And it's a lot of work, you know, you're wrapping 100 items a day, but you're making maybe $3 on every single one or whatever. So there's a business model there. And if that fits your needs, that fits your needs. So the first step, the first most important step to selling on Amazon, especially if you want to sell books, is go watch all my videos. I'm just kidding, but watch a good amount of the ones from the beginning, from the early days, or at least hit my playlists. I have some playlists linked down below. There's like FBA tips, pro tips for booksellers. There's sourcing trips, those types of things. Go through the playlist section and find the videos that are going to help you learn what you need to learn. And if you want to just watch general content, start from the beginning, from my early videos. The production value is not that great, but I gave out all the information really early on, and then I kind of started making vlogs and stuff like that, travel vlogs, etc., family vlogs, whatever, stuff that you're probably not concerned with seeing if you're here to get information on how to make money. My goal is that you appreciate the value that I give you, and maybe you do want to watch a video of me and my family or a travel vlog or whatever. So besides my main goal, which is trying to help you guys get going, making some money on the side, breaking away from your 9-to-5 day job. And if you're in the 2017 Flip Challenge, you just got a master unlock, because I'm going to help you win this. Anyways, so yeah, get your Amazon account, get that going, download the Amazon seller app, right? This is the black icon app. Let me see if I can show it to you on my screen real quick. I never have good luck with this type of focusing stuff. Let's see, guys. So that black one right there, that's the Amazon seller app. Let's see. This is what the screen looks like. It's super out of focus. Yep, there's my sales total for the day so far. It's a pretty slow Sunday, 1,700 today, a little under 90,000 for the last 30 days, 90% books. That's why you guys are listening to me, because I know what I'm doing. But anyways, on the seller app, there's a little camera icon in the corner. And when you press that, it presents you with a screen. I don't know what it just looked up. It looked up something weird. Anyways, when you press the camera, it take you to the camera, and you can scan a barcode. You can scan stuff. Since we're talking about books, I'm going to tell you scan a book, and it will bring you some results. Let me see if I have a book right here I could grab. No, I don't. I should have. My bad. Anyways, but when you scan a book, it comes up with some results. You can see the new and used prices. You can see the FBA prices, and you can see what the payout would be for a book if you sold it at that price. And you can put in your cost and your shipping, etc. So it's free. It doesn't cost any money. It only works on live, meaning it doesn't have a database. So let's cut into that real quick. What do I mean when I say database and live? So there is a suite of scanning apps that you can use. There is my favorite app currently, which is FBA Scan, which has a database, and it covers all products, not just books. It does live, and it has database, meaning you can download the entire database of Amazon's product into the app, and then you can scan stuff when you don't have cell signal and you don't have Wi-Fi, which is very important because you don't always have signal where you're scanning stuff in a basement, in the back of a building. But it's more important because even if you do have signal, it takes 1 to 3 to 5 seconds for a result to come back from live lookup on any app. But if you have a database, it comes back in like a quarter of a second faster than you can look from a laser beam back to your phone screen. So if you really want to get going in the books, you're going to need a database app. Now, there's only 2 apps in America, I believe, that have database. One is FBA Scan, which I just talked about. It's tried and true. It's been around for a bazillion years, but it's getting kind of tired. There's a new app that just came out that is definitely going to take over the game and be the best app there ever was. It's called Scout IQ, and it has database as well. There's only one problem, is currently it only does books. So unless you do just books, it's not going to be that useful for you because you can't do CDs, you can't do DVDs, you can't scan toys, etc. And I do, even though this video is about selling books, I definitely recommend you to diversify your bonds. You remember that episode on Dave Chappelle with Wu-Tang Financials where the Jizza said, diversify your bonds. He wasn't kidding. You want to be versed in a million different niches so that you can find profit wherever you're at, because there might not be books there all the time. Anyways, back to the program. So Scout IQ, FBA Scan, those are American apps. You can in Canada, I'm not sure if FBA Scan works in Canada, but I know that in Europe you can use Scan. That's going to work for at least for UK. I don't know about all of Europe. Please don't jump on me for that. I'm a stupid American. My geography is limited to my surrounding area. So if you really want to get going on books, you're going to need a Bluetooth scanner, which is a wireless thing. They're like about this big. It connects to your phone via Bluetooth, and it has usually 1 or 2 buttons, and it sends out a laser beam, which scans a barcode and then sends the numbers back to your phone with Bluetooth. So what you usually do is you'll put some Velcro on the back of your phone and some Velcro on your scanner, and then put them together, and then you can hold your phone like this and you can scan books on a shelf and use your other hand to fan through the books quickly. Very important, very, very important. The laser beam gets the barcode, sends the data back, and then the app sends you the results, and you can see it right away. You can have headphones plugged in, you can have alerts, you can set your own pricing criteria. If you only want to sell books that are going to make you $10 profit, you can set that. If you only want to sell books that are going to make you $15 profit, you can set that. If you only want to sell books that are going to sell fairly quickly, you can set those types of criteria in your scanning app, whether it's Scout IQ or FBA Scan or Scan. They're all different, but they can all basically do the same thing. Now, Scout IQ is made by a bookseller that's very smart, Caleb Roth. And so it has a few features that other scanning apps don't have. It's in beta right now. It should be out soon. I'll let you guys know when it comes out to the public. But if you have a scanning app with database mode and a Bluetooth scanner, you can crush it selling books, because that's how you go through books fast. Like I like to tell people that your job, if you're a bookseller, it's not so much to find the winners as it is to get through the losers as fast as possible, because there's so many items in the book category. There's so many books that have been printed. Most of them aren't worth a thing. And so it's just going to be a lot of work if you're waiting on live signal, or if you're using a camera on your phone to scan them versus using the laser beam or not having database or whatever. Especially if you're at a high competition area like a library, book sale, which is a great place to source books, by the way. I have a video about details about library book sales and how to find them. Just check the links down below on my playlists, and those will direct you guys to those videos. So let's go. We'll touch on that a little bit. Where can you buy books to sell on Amazon? So thrift stores. This is huge. There is a lot of thrift stores. There's Goodwills, there's Salvation Armies, there's Savers, there's Value Village, there's private independent thrift stores that I don't know the name of. There's yard sales, estate sales. There's a really cool app called Yard Sale Treasure Map app. Get that app, install it in your phone, and when the weekend comes, you open that app up and you check out where the sales are at. Now, that's like the most basic way to do it. If you want to be really on top of your game, the night before, you should be researching which sales have books, maybe looking through the pictures, maybe even contacting some of the people and asking if you can come by the night before to go through the books. All right. So that's a huge yard sale, garage sale tip, is that you super early bird it by not even by showing up early in the morning, like with a flashlight, which is recommended, but calling them and seeing if you can come by the day before to get the jump on the jump. Right, guys? So now let's look at the data that you're going to be getting from a scanning app. What it's going to tell you besides the price is it's going to tell you the sales rank. Now, sales rank is a number on Amazon that represents how frequently an item sells. So the number one book is going to be like Harry Potter or whatever the flavor of the month is. And the last book with the 43 million ranking or whatever, that's the worst selling book. Now, I think there's like 38 or 48 million books listed in the book category, but a lot of them have never sold. Like most of them over 15 million rank have never ever sold. So when you see a rank table and they're telling you this is the top 1%, this is the top 5% of the sales rank number, it's not so accurate because it includes a lot of dead weight. Now, what you need to know about sales rank more than anything is that it's just a snapshot from a moment in time. And this is how sales rank works. When an item is not selling, the rank gets larger. It goes, from 1 to 10 to 20 to 500 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000. It gets worse and worse and worse. And if down here is 1 in the bottom and up is higher numbers, it's going up. It's getting worse and worse and worse. And then when it sells, it's going to spike and go down. Or, you can choose how you want to view sales rank graphs, flippity, floppity, whatever. But the moral of the story is that devoid of a sale, a rank gets worse and worse and worse. And when it sells, it spikes. So here's a rank, and you're looking at it on Monday, and you're like, man, that's a 1.2 million rank book. I don't want to get it. It doesn't sell very often. But then it sells that evening, and the rank tomorrow is 123,000, and you would buy it. So it's important, most of all, to look for profit in books. And once you find the profit, then you need to investigate into further detail. So all the scanning apps have the ability to see the sales rank graph historically through time. And these services are provided from sites like Keepa.com, Keepa, and CamelCamel.com, which you should be very familiar with if you want to be in the Amazon game, let alone selling books on Amazon. What they do is they track the sales rank historically over time, and then you can see if it just gets worse and worse and worse, and you can see, you see over a 1 month period, it spiked twice. That means it sold 2 copies at least during that time period. If when you look at the 30-day thing and it looks like a Richter scale seismograph went crazy, it's selling a lot of copies, and you can count the spikes on the sales graph and see that it sold at least that many copies during that time period. So more important than rank, because it's just a snapshot in time, is historical rank, like how it behaves over time, right? And you can look at sales rank averages as well. I believe Keepa.com shows you sales rank average. Keepa and CamelCamel both have Chrome extensions that you should install to your browser that helps you see the sales ranks on the Amazon product detail pages. But and they include averages, so that can help you. But an average of a textbook, which only sells really crazily during textbook season, is not going to be so valuable to you when it's not textbook season, right? So what you want to do is get your eyes on the sales rank graph. So first, find the profit. If the profit's there, look at the sales rank, look at the sales rank over time, and determine if that item actually sells and if it's going to be valuable for you. Now let's go down to so the ways that I discussed about how to get books earlier is generally referred to as cherry picking books, meaning you go to places and you go through their books and you take what you want and then you leave and you go process them and sell them however you're going to sell them. But there's another way called bulk selling books, and this means that you are getting gaylords of books. A gaylord is a volumetric measurement. It's like 3 feet cubic or so, something like that, 2.5 feet cubic. And you can find suppliers of gaylords of books, usually from paper recyclers or other organizations that are just have so much books and they can't deal with them all. Maybe you have a deal with a thrift store where once a month or once every 3 months, they dump all the books out of the entire store that haven't sold into a gaylord and sell it to you for 10 cents a pound or whatever. That's a whole different business model, and it requires a lot of work. You're going to have a lot of junk to go through on hand, and you're not going to be able to leave it behind. Like when you cherry pick, you have to figure out either how to monetize those duds or how to get rid of them or find another organization to donate them back to. And it requires different workflows. All right. You might need some forklifts. You might need a pallet jack. You might need a conveyor belt. You might need a Gaylord dumper to dump the Gaylords onto your conveyor belt or onto your sorting table or whatever. But so just two different ways to get books, right? Now let's go into, also you can, I didn't mention this, but you can source books by going into like local college Facebook groups and saying, hey, I buy books, and you can buy books, buy them back from the students that just got out of school, right? Or you can make advertisements. You can make bumper stickers, I buy books. You can advertise anywhere you can advertise, social media, local Facebook ads. You can put door knockers on people's doors. You can send out postcards. You can do anything. You should be telling people that you sell books and have business cards. That way the books start flowing to you, at least some of them. That could be your entire business model if you focus on it. So let's talk about processing. Let's talk about equipment needed. So besides needing a smartphone and a Bluetooth scanner to scan the books, which you don't need the Bluetooth scanner, it's just much faster. You are going to need a computer at your house to deal with listing the books on Amazon and getting them ready to be purchased. So you're also probably going to want a printer so that you can print out your postage from home. And at first, you might not get a label printer where you can just peel the back off and stick the postage on. You might just get a regular laser printer and cut it out and tape it on your packages. That's fine. It's not the most efficient way to do it, but you got to do what you got to do when you're starting out, right? So there's another way. You can get either Dymo brand or Zebra brand label printers that print onto 4-inch rolls for postage labels for books. Now that's for merchant fulfilled, meaning you're shipping them yourself one at a time when they sell. If you're doing FBA, you're going to need to have labels, little address size labels that you put onto the books. So when you send a book to Amazon via Amazon FBA, you have to put a label over the book's barcode. It has to go on top of the book's barcode, and that's the Amazon FBA label. You can either print these on sheets in a laser printer using the 30-up sheets, or you can use a Dymo 450 turbo printer to print them out on labels, and they come out horizontally like this. You can do the long ways ones too, but I don't prefer that. I prefer them to come out this way, where you roll them up like this. Anyways, so you're going to need some printers. You're going to need a computer. You're going to need some mailers if you're doing merchant fulfilled. If you're doing FBA, you're going to need boxes. You can get boxes for free from anywhere that has a recycling place. Don't steal them. Side note, I actually got a ticket for stealing boxes out of a recycling dumpster before. Stupidest thing ever. So, but if you don't have time, it's always more efficient to just purchase them. I like to purchase my boxes from Home Depot. I prefer to use the small boxes for books. You can also use the medium boxes, but you're not going to be able to fill one of those medium boxes with textbooks up. It's going to be way too heavy. You're going to need a scale to weigh books on. I prefer to use the Pelouze, Pelouze brand scanner, but they're not always the cheapest. They're actually kind of expensive sometimes when the supply is not proper. But there's a bunch of different scales that you can use. What you want to look for in a scale is you want it to be sturdy, hopefully made out of metal, with a large plate to put the boxes on, and it has to be able to weigh up to like 100 pounds or so. The max weight on a box to send to FBA is 50 pounds per box. And all the good scales have a detached display that you can pull away from the scale. So you can put the box on there. You can have the display over here on the side or whatever. Hold on, quick water break. Check that out, Reezy Resells, Follow the Hustle, 40-ounce flask. Anyway, so let's see, scales. Obviously, you're going to need tape guns. You can start off with using regular tape. That's what most people use. That's what I used forever and ever. When I started sending a massive amount of boxes to FBA, I realized that I could actually save money if I used the wet tape. This is the tape that Amazon actually uses. It looks like cardboard and it has nylon ingrained in the tape or whatever. I have all those links down below in my description for equipment that you guys might need when you're selling books on Amazon. Let's see, you're going to want a table to sort your books on, to stack them on when you're processing them, preferably a long one, but a fold up like table you grab from Costco or whatever, that'll work too. They work just fine. Not optimal in my opinion, but it works great. They just start to sag after a while and it gets all bougie. So let's talk about process for first, let's talk about book conditions. When you get books and you're going to sell them on Amazon, you have to classify them in condition. Is it new? Do not list books as new if they aren't new. If you're asking me or anyone else, is this book new? It's not new. Okay, so there's new, like new, very good, good, and acceptable. Acceptable is the lowest condition that you can actually sell a book in. And if you're ever unsure about what condition a book is, you always downgrade it to a lower condition. You don't want to create false expectations with your customers. Your goal is to keep your customers happy. You don't care about one single sale. You're in this business to make a lot of sales. So don't risk the biscuit for one sale. And oftentimes it's not even worth upgrading the condition anyways. So there's verbatim descriptions for the condition guidelines. I don't have them on hand with me right now, but you can look them up. Amazon has their own seller central forums where they have all kinds of instructions. They even have training and tutorial videos that will show you how to pack a box, how to make a shipment, all these things. So you don't have to go buy someone's course or how to do this or how to do that because Amazon already made training videos. Go to Google, type tutorial FBA Amazon videos or whatever, and you'll probably find the videos that Amazon made themselves for you guys to understand how to work the system, because they make money when you make money, so they want you to make money, right? Now let's talk about book conditions. When you're listing a book, you have a section where you can write a note about it, your condition description note. And a lot of people write, there's a crease on the cover, previous owner's name inside front cover, light musty smell, whatever. You don't have any time for that, okay? And it's not going to increase your sales much at all, if any at all. So what you want to do is you want to make boilerplate descriptions for all your books. So what boilerplate means is you make a basic description and you copy and paste that into every book. When you list it, you have the one for new books, the one for like new books, the one for very good, the one for good, the one for acceptable, and that's it. You just drop them in there and you don't have to worry about describing each book individually. So what you do, like workflow wise, is you get home, you got a bunch of books wherever you got them, and you stack them on your table by condition. You put the new ones in a stack, you put the like new ones in a stack, very good, good, acceptable, and so on. And then you go through and list them on Amazon, and you're batching your workflow like that because you're switching the pre-made descriptions less, etc. Now, the basic way you make an FBA shipment is you scan the books into Amazon, you convert them to Amazon FBA, make a shipment. It gives you the stickers, you sticker the books, you put the books in boxes, you weigh the boxes, and then you get labels, you put them on the boxes, and you drop them off at UPS or FedEx. Now, if you're doing a ton, you can do a pallet of books. For us, we start to save money around 350 pounds. So when you have a shipment over 350 pounds, you should start looking into pallets. But that is dependent on how far you are from your fulfillment center where the books want to get shipped to. And unfortunately, you can't control where Amazon wants you to send it to. They might want you to send 10 here and 20 there. You never know. So my advice is to just make bigger shipments so that you can get a large enough amount of them to go to where you need them to go to. Let's see. Book conditions, boilerplates, finding books, label books. Now let's talk about what type of books do you want to buy? In general, nonfiction. the books that are all worth the most money are nonfiction books. And inside of that category, it's going to be textbooks. Textbooks are by far the most profitable books that you can buy. So you want to get textbooks anytime you can. You should grab them and scan them for sure. But aside from textbooks, it's all nonfiction books. And yes, there is some fiction books that are worth money, but just in general, order of importance, textbooks, nonfiction, then fiction. And outside of those categories, the books that are worth the least amount of value are the mass market paperback books. These are the ones you can get at the grocery store. They're like this big. They're usually thicker than normal, and the pages yellow really fast. Those are almost not ever worth any money. I mean, again, there's exceptions to the rules, but as far as what is going to get you the most bang for your buck on your time spent finding books, stay away from mass market paperbacks, in my opinion. Of course, there's a myriad of ways that you can bulk them together and sell them on eBay or whatever. But so let's talk about repricing your books and how to price a book. If you want to sell a book on Amazon, you have to have near the lowest price or the lowest price for your condition or better. What does that mean? That means if I have a good book and I'm listing it for $12, but there's a very good for 11, it's a good chance that my good book is never going to sell because there's a book in better condition that's $1 less. So you want to price your books for the same condition or better. And people adjust their prices over time, so the price changes. And if you just price it once and you don't adjust your price, you're going to move down the list, and you might not even be on the first page, which means you're certainly not going to sell. Okay. And what you have to do is continually adjust your prices to be competitive. And when you adjust your price, do not undercut your competition, because that creates a race to the bottom. If I go a penny less than you, you go a penny less than me, and so on until this book is worth almost nothing or whatever, especially since there might be hundreds, if not of 1,000 people selling this exact title. And what you have to know is that the professional sellers use automatic repricing software to reprice their books to give them the ultimate competitive advantage. So the software that I use to reprice books is repriceit.com. There's a bunch of different solutions. Another one that I recommend, not so much for books, but it works for books too. It's just really expensive, is appeagle.com. Reprice It is schedule based, meaning you tell it what to do and when to change the price based on certain conditions, and it does it on a schedule at 11 a.m., at noon, at 1, at 2, at 3, and so on. But App Eagle is reactive, meaning it changes your price when it detects that your competition changed their price. So that's a huge advantage, but it's really expensive and pretty much not worth it for books. But if you sell new items like shoes or whatever else, I really recommend App Eagle. Let's see. When there's a lot more details about like how to source books at library sale, etc. And I covered those in my How to Kill It at a Library Sale video, which is available via one of my playlists down below. I'll actually link that down there. Let's talk about software. Now, when you really start going on Amazon, you're going to need some software to help you speed it up. Just like you use a scanning software, you're going to want to use a listing software. So the listing software that I recommend you use to speed up your listing process is ScanLister. ScanLister is super fast. It's great for listing stuff on Amazon. There's another solution called Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab costs $50 a month. ScanLister costs $20, but you can also outright buy ScanLister, I think, for $250 or $300. So that's great in my opinion, because I don't like being nickel and dimed every month. Inventory Lab, it's not really apples to apples comparison, because Inventory Lab comes with accounting, and they give you free access to their scouting tool, which only has live mode, but it's called Scoutify. Not the best scanning app in the business, but it will get the job done. Actually, particularly not that great for books, but it will get the job done, and it is free with Inventory Lab. Now, let me make sure, see if I have anything that I didn't cover. I feel like I just ranted for like 40 minutes straight. So I'm going to go over to the chat and see how many of you crazies are still here with me, and if we got any questions here. Smash the like button if you guys like this video. Please press subscribe if you haven't. I'm happy to have you here on my channel, and I appreciate you. Let's see. How do you sell a lot of books when they are used and you don't win the buy box? You got to price competitively, Ken. You got to be near the lowest price, especially for your condition or better. If you have I'm not saying, if you have a like new book, don't go competing with good or acceptable copies, but you want to have competitive prices. Going through these questions. Hold on, let me scroll up so I can get some questions, guys. Sorry about this. Let me take a drink while I look for some questions. Looks like Surfing Goats in here answering all the questions. I don't see very many questions. Question: what is your SKU format and why do you do it that way? Thanks. Great question, Ben. So when you list an item on Amazon, they give you a field called SKU, and you can put whatever you want in there. If you don't put anything, they're going to generate a bunch of random nonsense and put that in there. What SKU stands for is stock keeping unit. So it's to be used internally for keeping track of your stock. Now, the way that we do it is we list the date of when we acquired an item, followed by the 3-letter code for the person who sourced the item, followed by the location of where we sourced it. So Goodwill, Savers, Walmart, the Dollar Tree, wherever, followed by the amount we paid for the item and the quantity of that item that we purchased. The reason that we use these is twofold. One is so that when I sell an item and I see the SKU, I can quickly glean that information. So, okay, it sold for $55 and the payout was 38 or 42 or whatever. And then I can see right there, oh, cool, we paid $8 for that. So I know right away how much our profit was. I know who sourced it. Was it me? Was it my business partner? Was it my worker? And I also know, oh man, we have 5 more of those. And I can go and look and see if they sold or whatever. It's just for my own internal use. And also I can export that from Amazon, the SKU, and I can use that in Excel to write different things, to do different things based on the information that I've encoded in the SKU. Great question. Let's see if we get any more in there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you for sure. Man, you guys have been active in the comments answering all of these. Let's see. What do you think of Amazon's new pre-authorized returns policy? The customer is always right, especially in Amazon's world. So if it makes the customer happy, my guess is that it's going to create more customers in the long term. I mean, look at what it's done for Amazon. So it is what it is. It's good for the business overall, even though it might not be good for you or that single sale. But what are you going to do? Amazon holds the keys. It's their game, right? Mark Corbett says, what do you do with your duds when buying in bulk? So get rid of them however you can. Sell them to your local bookstore. Sell them on bookscouter.com, which is a great app that aggregates book buyback websites. Donate them to a local agency, preferably not the one you bought them from. Find one of those bins that says, donate your books here, which is probably your competitor's thing, and just stuff it full of them. It's crazy out here, guys, in these streets. Are the price points on Keepa's graph representing actual real sales or just new listings? Those are representing the price, the sales rank spikes. So what you can do is you can cross-reference the buy box price when the sales rank spiked, and that's as close as you're going to get to estimating what the buy box price was when the sale was made. And they actually do link those on Keepa.com. Now you can see the spike will line up with the buy box price, and it will draw a line to it, and that's your best bet as far as estimating the price that caused the sales rank to spike. The broadcast is sponsored by Lawry's Seasoned Salt. What do you do with textbooks? Amazon wanted invoices to sell them. I would just sell them on eBay if I was you guys. Unfortunately, I didn't get that email. I'm assuming because we sell so much volume, we are not restricted on any of those textbooks. We didn't get the popular textbook email like a lot of you guys did. If you can't sell it on Amazon, it doesn't mean it's not worth money. Just sell it on eBay. If you want to know specifics on what categories of books sell the best, Caleb Roth, his website, I believe, is thebookflipper.com or .net. He writes really intense articles. He's the creator of Scout IQ. He's a math wizard, a self-proclaimed spreadsheet junkie, which I love because I hate spreadsheets. So I get tips from him all the time. He wrote a great article. He analyzed an entire library's database of books. I don't know how they gave it to him or whatever, but he was able to analyze them, go through them, and find out which ones are actually worth money more. And he made a nice, pretty graph and percentages and yada, yada. Also, the creator of eFlip, really smart dude and an actual bookseller. So I'm psyched to have him have made Scout IQ software because it's a software made for us by us. Mark again says, how do you find profitable books at library sales if other sourcers are there? So guys, I made a really detailed video about everything I know about how to be successful sourcing books at library sales. And I recommend you guys go watch that video. If you want to Google it or YouTube it, it's how to kill it at a library sale, Reezy Resells or something. You'll see it. But it's like a half hour long, and I said basically everything I know about it. I prefer to use brown craft paper to pack FBA boxes. It's really cheap and it's quick to deal with. Let's see. Lennon says, your view on renting an office versus working out of a garage. So if you got the space in the garage, work out of it, especially since it's your own thing, but it's convenient. It's at your house. The downside is if you're trying to hire employees, you might not want to bring them to your house to work out of your garage. So that alone might be a reason that you want to switch to an office space, preferably one with a loading dock or a small warehouse. I like to bootstrap it, guys. So if you can get it done in a small space in a storage locker that has electricity and Wi-Fi, or a garage, or whatever you can get the job done in that costs you the least but allows you to do what you need to do, that's what you should do. Obviously, there's pros and cons in both situations, but you'll figure it out. Let's see. Question, do they pass on library books with stamps or remainder marks on them like when library stamps discard? No. We take those books just like we take any other books. We just downgrade them one condition. And a lot of people don't know this, guys, but you can take the library rental pocket off of a book by using a heat gun. They come off pretty easily. Also, library books usually have the plastic around the dust jacket. When you take that plastic off, they look beautiful because what happens is the librarian gets a brand new book and they put plastic around it. A lot of people think when they donate books to a library that those books are going to go into the library on the shelf. They're not going to. They're going to get sold, and they're going to be, the money from the sales is going to be used to purchase new books, brand new books, to fill the never-ending list of books that the library wants or books that they need to be replaced. And when they get those brand new books in, the first thing they do is they put that plastic around the dust jacket. So when you buy the library discards and you take that plastic off, they look brand new underneath. Let's see. Any more questions? How do you sell a lot of books when they are used and you don't win the buy box? I already did that one. It's pricing. You got to price it to move. Asian entrepreneur says, when I use database mode, it's very inconsistent in database. I update it every day. It shows to buy with a good price, but live tells me to reject. How do I avoid mistaking buying books when you don't have Wi-Fi? That's hard to do, but you're going to want to generally double check your books in live mode whenever you can. You use database mode to go through them all very fast, and you use live mode to double check them before you buy. Now, if you don't have the opportunity to check them at all because you don't have live signal, no Wi-Fi, you can't make a hotspot on your phone, you just have to look at the offers. Now, this is where Scout IQ comes in because the e-score is going to help you understand how many sales it's been making in the last 90 days much better than, and obviously supply and demand too. So if you can't see all the information, but you know there's 400 used copies, chances are that the FBA price is not going to be much more, or, it's not going to be a huge jump. Now, if there's only 4 used copies, the FBA price might be pretty high, higher than the merchant fulfilled price. Let's see. Question: what do you think of the eScore on Scout IQ? It's awesome. I've been using eScore. It works really, really well. It's going to eliminate your need entirely to go look at the sales rank graph on a book. Reezy, have you ever bought a bulk of the same book? I try not to, but I have, and I just price them all to move as fast as possible. The big issue with that is when you're listing them, if you don't list them all at the same time, how do you keep track of them and not have multiple listings so that when the customer goes to the page, they don't see your offer 10 times, That just doesn't look clean on the page. Let's see. If you're a one-man show, is it realistic you can make 100,000 a year selling books, or do you need to sell other items, and how many do you need to sell in Amazon per week? Yes, you can definitely make 100,000 or sell 100,000. It just depends on how hard you want to work and how many do you need to send in per week. That's really discriminate based on what your price is. So figure that your average price, if you sell most books that are profitable, your average price is going to be like $12 or so. A $12 book sale probably pays out about $4 on average. If it's like 2 pounds or less, pays out about $4. So divide 100,000 by $4, and that's probably about how many books you would need to send in a year to get that. I'm not a math whiz, so I'm not going to be able to do that on the fly for you. Let's see. Surf and Go is the MVP of this whole broadcast. Let's see. What is a book rank that you usually don't bypass? So roughly 3 million is a rank where I start to get really sketched out on buying a book. And when book ranks get really high, this is a big tip, guys. You need to start looking at titles of books. Titles are extremely important. If it's a 3 million rank book and it's a cat calendar from 1999, don't bet on that selling. But if it's 3.8 million and it's surgical methods for feline embryo transplant or something like that, that's probably going to be worth some money because books on that subject don't get printed every day. So the higher the rank, the more important the title becomes. And the more versed you become in selling books, you should understand titles are sexy. Certain titles. Let's see. What would you say the upfront cost would be for a beginner? Literally nothing but your scouting subscription. Literally nothing. So let's talk about Amazon account types. So if you're an individual seller and not a pro merchant, there's an additional $1 fee charged every time you sell an item. If you are a pro merchant, they remove that $1 fee, but it costs $40 a month to be a pro merchant. So unless you are selling 40 or more quantity of items a month on Amazon, you should not be a pro merchant unless you are looking to apply to become ungated in other categories, which you cannot apply for unless you're a pro merchant. And it's often confused, but you can still sell FBA when you're an individual seller, not a pro seller. Have you ever bought bulk books from wholesale liquidators? No, but I do buy books on Amazon and send them back to Amazon using eFlip software. Would doing FBA be smart if you're starting out cost-wise? I recommend it could be, but I recommend you to do merchant fulfilled until you understand the system. And then, once you understand the system, it's much less risky than starting FBA on Monday. And by Thursday, you figure something out and you're like, shit, I just mailed in 800 books that I shouldn't have mailed in. But if you're doing merchant fulfilled, all you got to do is cancel the listings and pull them off the shelf. Whereas if you sent those books in FBA, you're going to be paying for shipping, paying for Amazon to remove them, etc. Definitely want to start with scanning stuff in your house with the Amazon seller app so that you can familiarize yourself with it and how it works. I'm not going to answer a private label question. Sorry, there'll be another video. Do you have a list in your head that if you see a book or a set of books, you know it's a good book? So that's the funny thing, guys, is I've been selling books for almost 14 years now, and I don't really know because you don't have to know. You don't need to outsmart a database when you have access to a database. The one thing that I do know offhand is that there's a lot of children's sets of books that are worth money. So like Harry Potter, any one of those 7 books is not worth anything by themselves. But if you have all 7 books and you wrap them up together as a single unit, that's a damn near $50 unit. So if you can buy a Harry Potter book for $1, buy them and keep them until you have all 7 of them, and then wrap them together with stretch wrap and list that as the set 1 to 7 with no dust jacket or no slipcase, I mean. But don't mix and match publications. You know, they printed from different printers or whatever. Make sure all 7 were printed from the same thing and are actually part of the set, same set, but missing the slipcase. That's a huge pro tip, guys. You can pick Harry Potter up for $1 or for $0.25 all day long. You got 7 of them. Boom. Yeah, actually, like slight private label experience here, making my own Reezy Resells water bottles. I'm going to have 120 of these available for sale soon. Soon come 120 Reezy Resells. Follow the hustle. 40 ounces to freedom hustle flask. 40 ounces of water. Keep you hydrated all day. Let's see. Listing software. Are you still using ScanLister? Yes, ScanLister. Accelerlist is cool, but they got too many problems, so not into it. I liked it because it's web-based, so you could use it from your phone or from an iPad, but the reality of it is we're trying to list books fast, and I just need a simple, bare bones solution that does what I need and works quickly, and it doesn't take up a lot of memory, and that's going to be ScanLister running on a PC, most likely. Even though I don't prefer to use PCs, we still use PCs in the warehouse. I'm a diehard Apple fanboy, guys. Sorry. Let's see. What should we expect when a buyer returns an FBA book? You should expect that Amazon's going to give them their money back, depending on what the reason was, and that it will get inspected. And if it's sellable, it'll get put back into your inventory. If the customer damaged the book and it's unsellable, Amazon will give you a refund for it, but they are not always proactive about giving you your money back. So chances are, if you sell on Amazon, Amazon owes you money, and you need to use a solution like a refunds manager or AMZ refund or whatever. There's like 10 or 20 different ones. I have a link for refunds manager down there as well. But what these sites do, and there's a video you could watch to learn how to submit your own reports or whatever, and then you do it once a month. But when you submit, you just basically open cases and say, hey, where are these books? These don't match up. And then they give you the money like, hey, sorry, we didn't give you the money. Here it is. They would have never gave it to you. You got to understand Amazon is super predatorial. So you got to get your money and make sure you're being treated right. It's not like eBay where they care about the customers. Caleb Roth spreadsheet, lister, and tracker. Also got those in my description down there. You guys can check those out. Very good accounting spreadsheet and excuse me, listing spreadsheet. I mean, if you guys want to list books and not pay for a software, you can just use the Amazon inventory loader spreadsheet. It's not as easy to understand as a software that's clearly labeled or a nicely made out spreadsheet, but it comes with instructions. And if you can sit down for an hour and figure it out, you can list using the inventory loader template. You download that from the page where you would upload inventory, and then you just put your books into the spreadsheet and upload it, and away they go. Should I be running some PPC or something because I feel like a sitting duck waiting for a sale? Nope. You don't have to run any types of ads on Amazon to sell your books. Is it best to go sourcing and gather a certain amount of books before starting to list for sale? I'd say so, not necessarily just to make a sale, but just to make sure you're not wasting your time. Do you want to sit down and get ready to work and do 20 books today and then 20 tomorrow and then every day 20, whereas you could have done 100 in one day? I'd rather do 100 or 1,000 in one afternoon versus, going to the work area and getting ready to work and starting to work many different times, because what happens is when you start working, you're slow. When you get in the groove of things, you start going fast. And so you want to increase the amount of times where you're working at optimum speed. So if you list 20 books and process them, you are maybe only working at optimal speed after about 10 or so books or 15 or whatever. But if you do 100, you were probably working at optimal speed for like 80% of the books that you listed. So you save a lot more time. Tyler says, do you have any advice on increasing feedback? Yeah. So obviously do your job. Don't over condition your books, but you want to use a service like Feedback Genius or Feedback 5 or whatever that will send your customer an email and say, hey, we noticed your order was delivered. If we're a small business, if you appreciated that, we would appreciate if you would leave a feedback for us. It helps our business grow, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, don't watch movies while you list. That's going to make it slow. Just listen to podcasts. Listen to my podcast. Listen to Gary V's podcast. Listen to an entertaining podcast. Listen to comedy on Spotify or whatever. That always is awesome. So do whatever you want to do, but don't watch stuff. You'll find yourself watching it. You might even catch yourself reading your books. Don't do that. You need to list these things. Another thing about feedback is make sure you get your bad feedback removed as quick as possible. When you get a bad feedback, address it. There's a way to remove it on Amazon's system. You just, they recently changed it or whatever, so it's pointless for me to tell you it exactly because they'll probably change it again. But just know that you can get it removed almost 50 to 75% of the time. Right away, it will get automatically removed if you submit it to be removed. Other times, you might have to refund the order and then contact the customer and say, hey, I'm sorry, and just humanize with them. I'm sorry we missed our chance to make you happy, but we would like to make it right with you. I issued you a full refund. Would you consider editing or adjusting your feedback? If so, here's the link and instructions for how to do so. Because you can't ask them to remove their feedback, but you can ask them to consider editing it or adjusting it and send them instructions for how to do so. And a lot of the times what happens is you'll turn an angry customer into a happy customer, into a repeat customer. Because what happens in today's day and age is happy customers don't say anything. If they're happy, they just continue on their ways. They don't even leave a positive feedback. But when they're unhappy, they definitely leave a negative feedback. And that's when you know they're paying attention and you have a good chance to reach them as a customer and show them how you do business. And that's what I really recommend. It's like, how often do you see someone go on Twitter and say, people suck? People never go on Twitter and say, people are awesome. You know what I mean? So it's like Gary Vee says, we have to make positivity louder. So side note, if you're down for that, go post right now. Hashtag people are awesome on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, because people are awesome. People just don't talk about it that much. Let's see. Did you notice a big change in your business when you switched from FBM to FBA? Definitely, especially since I got in early in the game. I made more money and I sold books more often because you get the used buy box. The buy box is the box that when someone just clicks buy an item from the main product detail page without viewing the other offers, if they buy your item, it was in the buy box. How do you get the buy box? Usually by having the best positioned price. A little bit of that decision has to do with your feedback, your age of your account, etc., but it's mostly determined by price. So when you're FBA, you're automatically buy box eligible. You're going to make more sales. Can you tell us how you plan to attack when you go into a thrift store? It seems very overwhelming. Scan that shit. Scan every single book on the shelf. Scan them from right to left, from left to right, up to down, sideways, Wonka ways. Scan every single book. And when you are done at a thrift store, what you want to do is you want to reese the shelf. This was a term coined by my boy Rob, Earth Chakra Now. And it's a tip that I gave him and he gave it a name. But when you get done going through a store, what you want to do is take all the little leftover spaces on the shelf where the books are falling over and consolidate the empty space to one area, preferably like waist height right there or eye level in one area. So if there's books falling over, everything will be standing up nicely and there will be like one whole empty shelf. Now, when that worker comes out after you leave to put the new books out, where do you think they're going to put them? they're going to put them right there in that empty space you created. And then when you come back the next day, those are the area that you need to go through. Those are the books that haven't been looked through. So you might need to go every day. You need to figure out, get your finger on the pulse of the sources that you're at to know when they bring books out, how much books they bring out, etc. Need another water break. Hold on. Are you adding a thank you note? No, we're 100% FBA. You cannot put anything into the books. That's against the rules. What do you think about Scout IQ? It's awesome. It's going to change the game. It's a takeover, not a makeover. Let's see. What do you think about selling books on eBay at the same time? Do it. If you can manage it, go for it. There's a software service called Joe Lister. They manage your books across multiple, or your items across multiple platforms, including Amazon and eBay. That can take some of the double sales out of the equation, but that's definitely good. If you want to be grimy, you could use the grease pen to mark the books that you scanned. You just walk down the shelf and scan them, hit it with the grease pen. That way, and grease pen will rub off, but so you're not really damaging them. You might damage some of them. But either ways, if you want to get it, you're going to get it. Then you know which ones that you have scanned or not. If you want to be a super ninja, you get a UV marker and a UV keychain light. You mark the books that you've already scanned with the UV marker. Then you have the little UV keychain light, and then you flash the light on the books and you can see if you've scanned them or not. Bill Johnson with the long-term storage fee question. What day is the birth of a book, the day you list it or the day the book arrives at the warehouse? That's a good question, and I do not know the answer. I want to say that it should be the day that it arrives at the warehouse, but I wouldn't put it past Amazon to say the day that you shipped it is when it started. Let's see. Mark with another question. If a book condition looks brand new, you would not list it as new. Not unless it was new. If you pulled it off the shelf at a thrift store, I wouldn't list it as new. And even if I wouldn't give you guys that advice, or the beginners that are watching this in this video, because that is a very risky decision to do. A lot of people, if they think they can do that, they'll get in the game and they'll get a bunch of books and then they'll send them all in as new, and then their account is suspended before they even know it, because although a book looks new, grandma opened it up and wrote, a thank you note inside the cover or whatever. So it's just much safer to list it as like new. A lot of books for beginners or for people who just started on Amazon are restricted in new condition anyways. So it's kind of like a not necessary. Joe Lister also has a 15% of sale option, which I use for books. Can you explain that a little bit, Chuck? I know that Joe Lister is great, but in my experience, when you cross list stuff to eBay from Amazon, that they put the prices way out of whack. All right, got a giveaway idea, guys. I'm going to do a giveaway real quick. Hold up. Giveaway alert. Please smash the like button if you're watching this. There's 88 people watching and only 54 likes. So that means that 35 of you guys haven't smashed the like button. So I'd appreciate if you appreciate me or the content that I'm giving you, please smash the like button. I put a lot of work into this. I'm about to be dehydrated off of this, but I'm going to do a giveaway right now. Check it out. I'm going to give away a Reezy Resells pin right here. Let me see if I can get it to focus. Come on, focus. Focus. Focus, please focus. I'll be extremely happy if you focus, camera. Come on, Logitech, what did I ever do to you? It almost focused. It wants to focus. It looks like it's going to focus. And then it doesn't. And then you don't focus. If this doesn't focus, this is going to ruin my giveaway. I swear I got it to focus earlier. Focus. Focus. All right, well, This is the deal of the giveaway. What I want, I'm going to give away this pin to one of you guys, but what I want you guys to do is screenshot this on your phone or your computer or take a picture of it, whatever. Reezy Resells pin. Boom. Screenshot it. I'll give you guys like 5 seconds to screenshot it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, God, I really wish it would focus. That would be amazing. Anyways, screenshot that and then post it on Instagram with the hashtag Reezy giveaway. And I will go through that hashtag in the next hour, and I will pick one of you guys to get a Reezy Follow the Hustle pin for free. These are available through direct message only to me. They're $10 with free shipping. You can send me a DM and say that you're interested in one, or you can just shoot me $10 on PayPal, paypal.me/Reezy Resells. But I'm going to give away one right now to one of you guys. So screenshot that, share it on Instagram with the hashtag Reezy giveaway. And in the next hour, I'll go through the hashtag and find one of you guys lucky winners to get one of those pins. So hopefully you guys appreciate it. There's only 100 of them made ever, and they're pretty awesome. I mean, I collect Disney pins, so I mean, I think I might think they're a little more awesome than the average person. But I think that is mostly it. Let's see if I put my hand behind it, will that help it? Someone's coming with the tips here. Let's see, it's the rock. Oh, it did. Okay, here we go. It's focused. So there we go. Screenshot that right there. Boom. Thank you, Zen Flips, for the ultimate tip of the century. Screenshot that right there. It's the rock. It's the Reezy Resells Follow the Hustle pin. Damn, it's going wild on the focus. Anyway, screenshot that. Share it on Instagram with the hashtag Reezy giveaway. And in the next hour, I will pick one of you guys to get the pin. And I appreciate you guys a lot for tuning in to the broadcast. If you guys need a scanner, you can grab one at this link. Let me see. I'll put it in the box right now. It's rebrand.ly/scanner. rebrand.ly/scanner. Those are some ComeTax scanners available. I believe your account does have to be public for me to be able to see the hashtag on there. But since your account's private, Brian, send me a DM if you don't want to make it public for a little bit. You should just make it public for an hour. Yeah, take a pic of your TV or of your phone or whatever. If you're watching me on the TV, I appreciate it. No, let's see, the link doesn't work in the chat, but it's, let me see. Let me see. rebrand.ly/scanner. Yeah, it does work in the chat. That should be clickable. But yeah, also, if you didn't take a picture, the last chance to take a picture. Let's see if we get it to focus again. We got too lucky. It's not going to focus again. I doubt it. Anyways, hope you guys got a screenshot of that. Post it. Instagram hashtag Reezy giveaway, and I will randomly select someone to win. The hashtag is going to be hashtag Reezy giveaway. Hashtag Reezy giveaway. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I hope I was able to answer your questions. If you have any questions about selling books on Amazon that I didn't answer in this broadcast, please put them below in the comments, and I will address them the next time I make this video. Until next time, guys, this has been a Reezy Resells broadcast, and if you ain't flipping, you slipping.